Thank you. I told Salim to do that kind of introduction, so I don't want you to drop him in the grease. So anyway, so it's good to be here. The year was 1988, and we were having Convocation in Sharp Gym. And there was some guy speaking there, was alumni like me, and he graduated in 1968. And I'm sitting there looking at him going, geez, I was 1 year old when that guy was here and graduated. That dude's old. So I know what every one of you are thinking right now. Every one of you, I know what you're thinking. Look how young that guy looks. There's no way he's that old. That guy's got to be a student. Get him a beanie. Okay, anyway. I love to tell people that HBU was the best 6 years of my life. And it was. It was the best 6 years of my life. Actually, I was planning on being here for 4 years, but I changed my major, one of my majors, and they said, hey, great. We're bringing in a new Bachelor of Business Administration program, and you get to be one of the first people to graduate. And I said, hey, that sounds great. They said, here's 20 more hours of business administration classes for you to take. So I said, okay, I'll do that. One day, I was talking to my wife. I was recently married, and we were talking. I was driving in the car, and I was talking about HBU, and I said, you know, those were some of the best years of my life. And I felt this boom right in my arm. I said, ow, what'd you do that for? And she said, now are your best years of your life. I was like, oh, yeah, sorry. Ooh, okay. But seriously, it was. I want to tell you a couple stories about me. And if we got about 3 hours of time here, I'm going to tell you a couple stories about me. HBU had a nationally ranked soccer program in '85. They were number 15 in the country, Division I. And I was a student here, but I was a soccer player in high school. Wasn't that great, but I was okay. And I wanted to play. And so I approached the coach. I said, I'd like to try out. And he said, here when tryouts are, you know, try and make it on the team. So I went out tryouts. I guess I did okay because he kept me around. And I didn't travel, but I got to play. I mean, I didn't get to play. I got to travel and I got to practice. And one thing I learned is when you surround yourself that are people better than you, whether it's in academia, whether you're a nursing student or you're studying to be a teacher or you're an athlete, when you play or train with people better than you, you get better. And I got better as I trained with these guys. These guys were really good. So didn't get to travel till later in the season, my first year, and we were traveling to the tournament, went to play at Hardin-Simmons was in our conference, but we were playing against Air Force, and we were getting blasted. I mean, destroyed. And so the goalkeeper got thrown out, red card, you're gone for dissent, whatever. And so finally the coach looks down on the end of the bench and he sees me and goes, Hawker, go get ready. Anybody here seen the movie Hoosiers? Remember Ollie, the short guy, and Gene Hackman, who plays Normandale, the coach goes, hey, Ollie, go get ready. And Ollie goes, and sits there. That was me. And he goes, go get ready. So I get ready and I go out there. I get about 15 minutes in, but I'm sitting here going from walking onto a program to playing against Air Force in a Division I game. Now, that wasn't me. That was all God right there. That was a miracle. And the best part was I got better and better as I played with these guys and ended up having a great career at HBU as a soccer player. But more importantly, and I loved our prayer about things that haven't yet happened. I have relationships with people today because of playing here, people that I knew from playing here and students, but people who I got to know in the soccer community, people that are friends, people that are clients of mine, all because of that. And that was a miracle. But I got a better miracle for you. So Salim said I tried out for baseball. They brought baseball back in 1990, and I love baseball. Got cut from my high school team twice, not once, twice. And I said, I still want to play. I want to try and play. And so I go into the coach's office. His office was across from the soccer coach's office. And I said, hey, I'm interested in playing. And he says, sure, I'd love to talk to you. And he opens up his drawer, and he pulls out a legal pad. And it's got names and numbers, and he flips it over, names and numbers, flips it over, names, and I'm like, oh, geez, what am I doing? About 6th page, he gets to it, and he says, what's your name? Oh. So I said, sure. So he goes, well, we're having a tryout in 2 months. Come on out. We'll see how it goes. So we go to a tryout. There's 100 players there, and some of them are as recently as all district the previous year. I mean, really, these big groks, big monster-looking guys. You know, look at me. Can you see me? Okay. These guys are big, could throw a ball, and I'm like, oh, what am I doing? So he gets about 80 of the players, the head coach, and he works with them in the infield, and then his assistant coach, who I'd never spoken to before, takes me and about 20 other guys, puts us in the outfield and does stuff with us and whatnot. So at the end of practice, he lines us up all across the dugout, all the way around to the third base dugout, and he starts going down each person, getting a name and making sure he sees their face and who they are and knows who they are. He doesn't say a word to anybody. He gets to me, and he says, Hawker, I said, yeah, here. And he starts to go to the next person. He goes, you know, for someone who hasn't played baseball for 8 years, you did okay out there. I was like, now how did he know that? He was working with the infielders. How did he? God. That's how it works. So I end up trying to walk on here. Well, here's some great news. About a quarter of the team decided not to take school seriously, so they failed out, and that gave me a chance to play. Do what athletes do well in school. Everybody do well in school. There's your public service announcement. So I go out there, and again, playing with players better than me. I get better. I learn to do things the right way. And so this time I get to travel right out of the gate. But I'm just happy to be on the bus traveling, whatnot. When we go play Northwestern State, it was a pretty good baseball program, and there I am sitting on the bench and just happy as a clam watching everything going on. Well, our assistant coach tells in our first game, tells the left fielder, hey, you need to move in. And he just kind of doesn't really do it. So he gets up on another step and says, get in, move in for this guy. And the coach is noticing this. Well, he does body language and all that good, so he does this. Hawker, go get loose. And there's Ollie again. No, really, go get loose. Okay, so I get loose, get out there. And in baseball, there's a term called the ugly finder, that the ball finds the weakest player out there. Luckily, they didn't hit it to me, so that was good. Thank goodness. And I go up to bat, I get one at bat, and the guy breaks off 3 nasty curveballs, and I sit down while they're saying, hey, 14, what happened to your meal money? And hey, who's slinging who up there, 14? I guess I wasn't a big dude. So I say this because I didn't play much, but I had a great time. And the people I met through that are relationships today. But what's interesting is I ended up playing some tournament softball after that, which led me to my church, which led me to my wife, which has led me to friends I've had for 20 and 30 years who keep me accountable in my life and in my faith and in my business. And so what I want to tell you is that there are things that are going to happen to you later in life that started here. And God has a plan for every one of you. Whether you know it or not, you may just be going through the motions. I did, 6 years of it. Okay? But let me close with this. This is a great time. It's a lot of fun right now. And take a look. Just do me a favor. Take a look around. Look around at people around you. Just look around. Seriously. Look around. Some of the people you just looked at, you're going to know in 20 and 30 years. You're going to know their families. I heard some of you, oh, gosh. You're going to know them in 20 and 30 years. You're going to see them get married. You might see them have kids. And the best part is you're going to get to sit around and talk about the good old days. Thank you for your time. Go Huskies.